I'm Jay, and I'm going to MAGFest. So's he.
Hi.
He's Andrew. He's also going to MAGFest. Like that, using the drive powers of driving. Having it, it's right here, is the driving. Here it is, 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 here it is. So, we're going to MAGFest 2019, driving to Maryland from New York. Fucking, how you feeling, Andrew?
I gotta pee.
Okay. That's solid.
Well, it's actually a liquid.
Oh god, man. You know, sometimes...
Riveting content.
Yeah, no, you're fine. We are driving from New York to Maryland on a lovely Wednesday morning, Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. Gesundheit. Are you okay? Hey, are you okay?
Define okay.
Okay, Cam.
Okay.
We're doing good. We're heading off to Maryland, and I'm going to make some videos of our time at MAGFest. My first time going, his not first time. We're meeting some other friends there. We'll be seeing a little later. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be staying in the hotel where the convention takes place, the Gaylord itself, and I'm excited to have an excellent time, to be honest with you. I've never been to this particular thing before. I've always wanted to. It's going to be a great way to kick off the new year. I'm hoping to play some awesome games. I'm hoping to talk about them. I'm hoping to see some really good musicians. I'm hoping to talk about them. I'm hoping to have an excellent time and be able to talk to you, the viewer, about it and chronicle it using the magic of modern technology. I'm going to turn this modern technology off so I can continue using it later, and so I can put in the next of Andrew's many mix CDs. We just listened to an entire one that was just remixes of Smash Mouth's All-Star. That is not a joke. That is not a joke. We've arrived at a very nice hotel. We're staying in this. The convention is also in this. Andrew, how do you feel about these developments?
Yeah.
I feel similarly.
See the rooms there?
Yeah.
We got one of those.
Oh my god. We were very lucky. Here we are in our hotel room. We were very lucky to get an atrium-ass room with view of the whole frickin' place. Hi, I'm Jay. I'm glad I don't have that much of a fear of heights. It's actually not all that high up. That'd be silly. Tree. Full holiday cheer. It's all right here. God, we've met up with Anthony Spivey, fellow former Hey Poor Player man and fellow doer of stuff, who has shown us, well, this. Pikachu meets the press.
Absolute worst.
That's incredible. Also, we have this now in our general situation. Let's get the full picture there. The Gaylord in Port Washington, Maryland is beautiful. It was really cool right off the bat to walk around all this space and know that throughout the weekend as the convention really got on, no matter where we wanted to go, no matter what I wanted to do when it was in this 24/7 convention over the course of 4 days, I would always have my hotel room right there if we wanted to get a little bit or severely drunk and then go to a panel about Neopets. You could do that. So right off the bat, I was really struck by how nice it was to have everything closed in there and how lucky I and everyone else was to get a room in the convention center. Even if you didn't, there were other places right around that were also fine to go to, and there were restaurants in this little resort town right outside anyway, so you had plenty of options, but I was really struck by how convenient everything was and how well a sort of resort setting like the Gaylord is meant to be really works for an event like MAGFest. Right, so it is now Thursday. Hey gamers. It is now Thursday at the Margaret Fest. And we've done something here. I'll give you a better look later from below, but we've created a meme on our balcony. We're not the only ones. You know, we've got there's a Gurren Lagann up there. There's a transgender pride flag over there somewhere. There's some anime flag over there. But what we've done is brought memes to the big stage. Really, hold on. Do that one more time, boys. There's my boys. There's my boys. And we've done this. And we've brought the passion of gamers, rise up gamers. We've decided to let all know that we live in a society. Bottom text. And just so you know what we were talking about earlier, here's the whole wall of rooms. Zoom right in. We live in a society. Okay, thrilled though I am positive you must be to hear me and my friends talk about memes, there was actually more to MAGFest, if you can believe it. MAGFest doesn't have an indie game space on quite the same scale as PAX or anything, but there is still a space for developers to bring stuff. And bring they did. Hi, I'm Jay, Anthony Spivey, and I have discovered the most important game you will find at MAGFest 2019, and the name of that video game... That's backwards, but it probably won't remember. Picross Makeout League. I didn't have a chance to play Picross Makeout League because too many people were allured by that sexy puzzle piece, but I did get to meet one of the co-founders of its studio, Glass Knuckle Games, who led me into the concept a little bit. The game is one part puzzle game, one part visual novel, and you take control of a Picross-themed superhero who uses her prowess of the age-old puzzle game to defeat villains and save the day, and also make romantic gestures at puzzle-based superheroes, including this one. Then you have stuff like Video Freak, which takes a basic obstacle dodger and augments it by having the player switch between different video effects that can really screw with your eyes. There's also Heaven Will Be Mine, a visual novel about mech pilots in space that asks the most important question of all time. My favorite part of the indie space, though, belonged to a gaming gallery and community collective called Baby Castles. Alright, so this is something to show you. This is from a studio called Dog Rust, here at this lovely quad of really interesting games, such as this one where you're skateboarding against the Kool-Aid Man. In this one, you have a joystick, and you have this tower of lights, and you control this little green dot, okay, and you are going up, eliminating the red along your way, eliminating whatever's in your way, and there's multiple stages to this thing. It is all about getting to the top of this this tower over and over where that $1 flag is. And there's multiple levels programmed into it. It's marvelous. It's really neat. I love this as like the kind of weird thing that you can set up at a public space like this, or at a con like this. They have that, and they have a regular version over there. It's a really cool, atypical way to do things, and they seem to have a lot of that going on again with the. This man here is playing a skateboarding game to fight the Kool-Aid Man, as one does. You have, I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. It's Celine Fan, you know, you gotta hang out with Celine Fan once in a while. Baby Castles' goal is to collect different voices trying to do experimental things in game culture and bring those things to new audiences. So in this case, that meant taking all the weird ideas like a skateboard game fighting the Kool-Aid Man, or a bunch of very small little arcade games in really unique, intricate cabinets, stuff that might be hard for developers to make a case for on their own, into this one collective space where all these different things feel very well woven together and like they all fit together. The group is a New York City-based nonprofit, so if you happen to live in that area or live anywhere where they are going to be holding events, go check them out. Even outside of indie stuff, of course there wasn't a shortage of things to play. MAGFest also sports a really impressive arcade space. Now this was absolutely vast, had everything from old imported Japanese stuff, to early games and fighting game series, to current stuff, to a really big quad of rhythm games, to stuff that people would play in arcades in the 80s and then in 90s, and some really obscure things like this game about Azumanga Daioh. Of course, games are really only one half of MAGFest, the other being music. And if you want to know how that went, well... Seeing Bit Brigade live is always a treat. This is my second time getting to see them. I saw them at PAX East in 2017. They have someone speedrun an old game while the band plays whatever music applies to the part of the game that they're playing, no matter how fast or slow. This is the second time I've seen them, and both times they've done Mega Man 2. However, I really didn't care, one because they're great, but two because they had someone special show up.
Do you guys like Mega Man 2?
Yeah!
Would you like to meet Takashi?
Hello, America! Is everyone prepared to have fun?
So that was neat. I also got to see MC Front a lot from about 10 feet away, which was great. And made only better once Mega Ran showed up.
We might retweet it. Some of these tweets are just not for the Swedish. If I hadn't seen it, then I wouldn't believe it. If you're speaking your mind, well, that's just fine. But I don't really care if you're like standing in a line or tweeting with the person about your personal bit. When you're on the same block or maybe in the same crowd, you'll be get paid for maybe going sex to sex or maybe go off and go and sit the text.
Also, Brentalfloss was there, and he performed in the space that we could see from our hotel room balcony, so that was also neat. I don't really need to talk at more length about these people because they're all gods among men. Fucking go on Spotify, listen enough times to be worth buying a song, so probably something like 10,000 times. I don't know what you do with your money. There were a lot of other music things happening too. In that same space as Brentalfloss, there was just some real sly video game jazz playing all the time. It was sweet love music. Even that's not the end of it. There were panels. There was a Bionicle panel where my friend Anthony Spivey and I realized that we know way too much about Bionicle's 2001 era line of mech toys that saved the company, and a panel about the history of YouTube poop videos where they couldn't get the sound to work, so they spent literally half an hour introducing guests while they tried to fix things. We walked out after that point. I also got introduced to some content I really didn't know much about beforehand. Back in the day, I used to be a big Chugga Conroy fan, and Anthony Spivey mentioned that Chugga Conroy is part of a group called the Runaway Guys, with Proton John and Nintendo Capri Sun. It turned out they were doing one of their Throne Controllers game shows at MAGFest, and so I wound up tagging along for it, and man am I glad I did, because it was a fantastic 2 hours, probably one of my favorite sort of panel setting things I went to at the entire convention. Also, I don't really remember who this man is, but Chugga Conroy had us shout for him to be part of some wrestling thing. I don't know.
Hey AJ, I hear WB2K has this little contest going as to why I think I can beat you. Well, it's not a matter of whether I think I can beat you, because I know I can beat you. But rather than take my word for it, how about we go to the audience and get their thoughts on it real quick? Alright, yell out there!
And then I went to a rave until 3 in the morning. There was a lot of neon. The next day I went to a museum with a bunch of old computers and game consoles. Look, I feel like at this point I don't need to say a lot more. The point is MAGFest is great. This was such a pleasant surprise of an event I've always wanted to go to because I do live on the East Coast anyway, and just hadn't had a chance to until this year. It was so much fun to be able to go to all these events, to panels, to the game spaces, to concerts, to jam spaces, all of these things, and just come back to a hotel at the end. Again, we were fortunate enough to have the opportunity, and really what made it special more than any of that was just this really nice sense of camaraderie between everyone there. This was my first convention I've been to in a couple years now that wasn't for a website, that wasn't with a press pass. And although I cherish and really loved those events I did go to for those reasons, it was really nice to come here and just feel like I was part of this kind of adopted family of weird nerds who are all just looking to have an excellent time together, whether it was singing MC Frontalot lyrics or going to the Artist Alley space and buying weird art and questionable body pillows, or watching a Smash Bros tournament, or anything. It just felt like a very welcome open space, and I can't wait to go back again. Rise up, gamers. We live in a society, but for some of the first days of 2019, I lived at a MAGFest. I've been Jay, and yes, I do still have a cold from MAGFest.